trouble in your eyes now, but I know there's always a way. From sunrise till dawn, I'll be here waiting. From sunrise till dawn, I'll never stop. I'll fix you up, make everything much smoother again. I'll fix you up, from sunrise till dawn, my friend. I'll fix you up, with these hands and heart so true. I'll fix you up, Daniel, I'll fix you up. The connections might be tangled, the power source has lost its spark, but every wire tells a story, and I can mend what's torn apart. From sunrise till dawn, I'll be here waiting. From sunrise till dawn, I'll never stop. I'll fix you up, make everything run smooth again. I'll fix you up, from sunrise till dawn, my friend. I'll fix you up, with these hands and heart so true. I'll fix you up, Daniel, I'll fix you up. When the current isn't flowing, when the signals disappear, I'll be here with tools and patience, make the static crystal clear. Every cable, every circuit, every problem that you bring, I'll restore what time has broken, make the whole world sing. So don't you worry about tomorrow, don't you stress about today. I've got maintenance for your troubles, and I'll chase them all away. I'll fix you up, make everything run smooth again. I'll fix you up, from sunrise till dawn, my friend. I'll fix you up, with these hands and heart so true. I'll fix you up, Daniel, I'll fix you up. Hey, Daniel, everything's good as new. Hey, Daniel, I'll fix you up for you.
Well, welcome to the show. Today is Judge Alex Kim, kind of a new judge I kind of found. So let's watch Judge Kim and the hearings in his court. I want to thank all the new subscribers to this channel. Welcome. I'm hoping you're enjoying the content that I'm putting out. If you're not a subscriber to the channel and you like this content, please do me a big, huge favor and subscribe to this channel, and let's help this channel grow. So let's get started today with Judge Alex Kim. Make this larger. Yes, I'll be here, but I'll be muted. So I'll be interacting with the chat. So let's do this.
Let him know you're here under my
Your
name.
Honor, I'm here. Mother is not present.
Okay. All right. Do we have the child in detention?
Yes, he is in detention. I don't see him on the screen.
Oh, I mean, I don't see him on the screen. Oh, there we go. Is that room 3? Derek, is that you? All right. Derek, can you hear me?
This is Shantae Miles.
Okay. I'm not talking to you, ma'am, unless your name is Derek. Okay. Derek, I can't hear you. Is the microphone on in there? We haven't done this in like a year, so I know there may be some technical problems. Oh, and also everyone, your camera has to be on if you're attending Zoom. If you're here with your camera off, then we're going to remove you. And ma'am, TCL T513W, you need to turn your camera on.
Judge Kim, can you hear us?
Now I can hear you.
Okay, one moment. The one computer's not working, so we're gonna bring the first kid in this room.
Okay, that sounds good. All right, TCL, I'm about to remove you if you don't turn on your camera.
Judge Kim, can you hear me?
I can, Mr. Medicon.
Judge Kim, good morning. Or good afternoon. I just want to let you know Mrs. Spence is having some issues with his camera.
Okay, that's fine.
All right. Thank you.
Let's try again.
All right, Derek, can you hear me now?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. All right, so we're having a 10-day detention hearing. Since you were held in custody, the law says you have to see a judge every 10 days while you're here. You have the right to remain silent, and you have the right to an attorney. If you cannot afford an attorney, one will be provided for you. So let's see. Okay, so now you've been here for, I guess, 65 days. You're on probation for burglary of a habitation. Placed on probation last August. November, we issued a directive to apprehend because you absconded. Your mom contacted us, said that you had run away on Thursday during a scheduled psychiatric appointment. And then there's talk about potential inpatient care, and then you left the facility. All right. So the mother's not here. Is that correct, Mr. Medicon?
That's correct, Your Honor. This is Mr. Haynes. Sorry.
Sure. Okay, Mr. Haynes, thank you. All right. You have 1, 2, 3 previous family violence arrests, assault of a peace officer arrest. So, Mr. Haynes, how long did he abscond for?
It was about a week, and he had supposedly walked to Oklahoma.
Was he okay? Do we know where he was at?
We do not know where he was at in Oklahoma. Mom picked him up, I believe, from a police station.
Okay. All right, Derek. So I think you heard me say this before. My concern is the absconding, right? A 16-year-old can just live out on the streets with their own resources. Also, when you're on probation, the big thing for me is, I need an A in attitude and an A in attendance. And if you're not around, there's no way we can supervise you and not give you the adequate supervision. Do we know, let's see, about the burglary of the habitation? It was a house on the market. House was broken in several times. And then Derek, you had some restitution that you still haven't paid while you're on probation. Some of it, yeah, but you're also behind on that. So all right. Yeah, Derek, I think you have too much impulse control issues. If I was to release the community, I do believe you'd be a danger to the community as well as to yourself. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next is Jesse.
This light turn.
Yes, sir.
All right, Jesse. So, Mr. Novak, I'm going to ask you to stop moving the camera around. It's distracting to everyone else. All right, Jesse. So you're 14 years old. You've been here for a little over 2 weeks. January 8th, Arlington police responded to a domestic. You were not taking your psychiatric medication. CPS told your mom to call the police so they could take a report. While on the phone, you picked up 2 butcher-style knives, pointed them at mom, said, "I'll take you out." Mom actually believed you. I guess she eventually got the knives from you and turned them over to the police. Since you've been here, you've had violations for talking without permission, talking without permission and arguing with the staff, talking without permission, talking in line without permission, using profanity, almost started a fight in detention, continuous talking during cleanup, getting into more arguments, disrupting class, not following instructions, cussing at staff, not following instructions. All right. So Jesse, you're level 2. This is just the way it's going to be. If you can't control yourself and follow the rules back here, I know you're not going to follow the rules at home, your mom's rules. I need to make sure that you're able to follow the house rules. So honestly, get your behavior level up, and I'm willing to release you if you take your medication. Who's the PO on this one?
It's me, Your Honor.
Okay. Is he medication compliant in detention?
From what the signed PO reported, no. I'm not sure. I will have to check with detention if he's been taking his medication.
Okay. Yeah, Jesse, if you're not taking your medication, you're not going to get to level 1.0. If you were level 1.0, I'd know you were taking your medication. Since you're not, I don't know if that's the only reason why you're losing points or if there's other reasons. I know there's other reasons. So look, the medication's there. You've got to take it. When you get released to the community, because I have no doubt I'll eventually release you, then you need to take your medication there. More importantly, you can't smoke weed. You have THC history. Look, if you're prescribed psychiatric medication and you're self-medicating with street drugs, it interferes with the medication or the prescription that your doctor gave you. You're just one of those people in life that you just can't smoke weed. All right, it is what it is, because your doctor will never be able to target the prescription as needed. So that's just something to remember. Okay, so Jesse, I'm going to detain you. We'll see you in 10 days. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Ms. Uzuehe. Next, we have Juliet. All good?
Yes, sir.
Okay, hello, Juliet. So you're 15 years old.
Yes, sir.
Maxine, you can't point the camera at the ground. This is going to be my last warning to you, right? It's really that simple. This is still court. We're online. This is not a FaceTime chat. Okay, so you're 15, January 9th, Fort Worth PD dispatched a domestic, talk to your father. Are the parents here for Juliet?
Yes, sir. I'm here.
All right, hello, Mr. Carr. All right, went to domestic. Let's see. Dad said he picked you and your stepbrother up from grandmother's house on the ride home. Disagreement about you and your stepbrother being disrespectful. Have been smoking marijuana. He was trying to take your cell phone away as punishment. Then both of you hit him multiple times in the head, face, and back, causing pain. Police saw injuries consistent with the report. Now, let's see. Since the last detention hearing, the last 10 days, you were level 3 right now. You had been confined for being verbally abusive towards staff. refusing to dress down, arguing with staff about your seclusion. So you've had 11 minors. Talking back to staff, staying over the phone limit, using profanity, not staying in your seat, looking at the mails unit, leaving contraband in your room. Right, Juliet? So either you follow the rules or you don't. It's really that simple. If you follow the rules here, then I'll give you a chance to follow your rules at your father's house, and then you can stay at home. If you can't follow the rules here, I'm not even going to give you the opportunity to live in your father's house. Show me that you can follow the rules, that you can be respectful. If that's the case, then everything's good. If it's not, then you're going to end up staying here. All right. So it's really just that simple. You're the one in control of whether you stay or go. All right, Juliet. So I am detaining you. Maybe by the next 10-day hearing, you'll have your level up and we could review this. If you don't change your behavior, you can't expect a change in the result. Okay. All right. Thank you, Juliet.
Sir, is there anything I can say by chance?
Yeah. Did you have a question for me or did you just want to tell me something?
Yeah, no, I'm just, this is my daughter's first time. I was just trying to tell you
Did you have a question or did you just want to tell me something?
I just wanted to tell you something.
Yeah, that's not really appropriate for this one. Tell the attorney or the probation officer and they can bring it to my attention at the appropriate time. All right.
Yes.
But detention hearing, this is not whether your daughter deserves probation, whether she did it or not. This is simply about whether it's more appropriate to detain her or not. Sir, she's a level 3. That means she's constantly losing points. That means if I release her to you, she is going to disrespect your rules as much as she's disrespecting mine. There's nothing that you can say that will convince me that she will just magically start following your rules if I was to release her. All right. So just something to put in perspective for you. All right.
Yes, sir. No, I understand.
All right. Thank you.
Yes,
I know this can be difficult for you. This is your daughter, but at the end of the day, I have to be concerned about her behavior. And I think we're both on the same page when I say we both want her to live a healthy and productive life in your home. But that at this point has more to do with her than you or me. All right. Okay. Well, I guess you agree.
Yes, sir.
All right. Thank you, sir. Good next, Saban.
I don't. Mom is present as well. I just don't see her on the screen here.
Okay. Is Saban's mom here?
Yes, sir. I'm here.
Yes.
We're
Okay.
here.
Hello.
Hi.
All right. Okay, so Saban, you are 16, almost 17. For felony theft of a firearm?
Yes.
Who was the victim on that stolen gun?
That was mom.
Okay, it was mom's gun.
Yes.
Okay, so you're on felony probation. Then on December 9th, RNCPD referred you, saying on November 28th at about 8:30, you're dispatched to Arlington Memorial Hospital about somebody who was shot in both hands. They have been dropped off by his friend. Victim said that he and his friend were meeting with a suspect to sell a counterfeit brand name sweatshirt. Said his friend and the suspect argued and then gunshot. Victim said his ears started ringing, hands started to hurt. He said the suspect had a black hoodie and black pants. Thought suspect may have had a mustache or facial hair on his chin. And then gave his friend's name. So December 3rd, police went to Fossil Ridge High School, met with the victim's friend to talk about the shooting. He said that he arranged for sale of a counterfeit hoodie, was selling it through Instagram. When they got there, Savan told them to hand over what they had while getting a firearm from his jacket. The victim said he tried to drive away, but heard a gunshot, realized his friend had been shot. So after further questioning, this victim's friend revealed the real reason was trying to sell him a THC pen for $60. On December 5th, there was a photo lineup. Savan was picked from the lineup and confirmed he lived at the apartment complex where the shooting happened. Okay, the rest are brought over here. All right. Do we know what happened to the gun?
We do not, Your Honor.
Okay. All right. Saban, just let you know on this one. Look, you're on felony probation. The first rule is not to have possession of a firearm. Here you are. Looks like with possession of a firearm now, it's escalated to the next level, which is shooting somebody. The only level worse than this is somebody getting shot and dying. So I do believe you're a danger to yourself. Somebody here from the state? No, Stephanie. There we are.
Yes, Your Honor.
Yeah. Do you have any notes? Do y'all intend to seek grand jury approval on this?
Let me check, Your Honor.
Mostly, I just want to admonish the child of the range of punishment if you are.
That I do not know. If you'll give me a moment, I will pull it up.
Okay.
I apologize. It's running a bit slow.
That's fine. I'm out of practicing future online, but we're going to give kids some lodgements.
It appears the respondent's already been approved for determinate sentence.
All right, Savant, so let me explain this to you. So the theft of firearm is what's called an indeterminate felony. That means I could send you to TJJD on that one. They could keep you for as long as they felt was appropriate and then release you when they thought was appropriate. But in no way could you stay incarcerated or detained past your 19th birthday. Or if you were getting probation, for your probation to extend past your 19th birthday. However, this new offense, this aggravated robbery, is eligible for what's called a determinate sentence. That means the district attorney can go to the grand jury, ask them to approve the case, at which point you are looking at up to 40 years of confinement for this offense. And that is where, if you turn 19 while you're in the juvenile justice system, I could transfer you to the adult system, TDC, to finish your sentence. Or if you were to get probation, I could also transfer your probation to an adult court. Now, one thing you have to worry about is because you are almost 17 years old, the district attorney can ask me to give up my jurisdiction and then certify you as an adult, at which point your whole case would go in front of the adult system. If that was to happen and you went to trial and you were found guilty, you're potentially looking at life in prison for this offense. That's life in prison with parole. So we're actually very serious right now on this level of offense. I need you to make sure that you're doing everything that you can to help your situation, to make your attorney's job easier, not more difficult. All right. I just want to reiterate to you, things have gotten really serious really quickly. Of course, if you didn't do this, I'm hopeful that you didn't do this and they arrested the wrong person. But if they do have the right person, it's really important that you maintain your behavior level and give your attorney as much as possible to work with. Certainly don't do anything that helps the district attorney prosecute you. Okay? All right. All right. Thank you, Saban.
Can we say something?
Your Honor.
What did you want to say?
I mean, we not arguing his case. Ain't this like a detention hearing to see if he can come home and go to court from home? I mean,
Yes.
He's been doing everything he's supposed to do in there. It seemed like y'all just keep telling him the same thing over and over just to detain him. You done already told him what you just said the first time he went to court. It's like y'all ain't giving him no reason to keep doing good. And every time he come to court and he's doing good, he just keep detaining him.
Would you
See what I'm
prefer?
saying?
Yeah. Would you prefer that I just never tell your kid what the potential consequences are?
No,
or how
I'm not
serious-
saying that. I'm not
sir,
saying
sir.
that.
I give you the courtesy of letting you talk without interrupting you. I don't know why you're not going to give me the same courtesy. So would you rather me not even tell your son, or I don't even think you're the dad or stepson or whatever, if what the potential consequences are? I think it's really important for him to know that he is potentially looking at life in prison with parole for this offense and how serious this offense is. So you're telling me I'm just repeating myself. Should I not make sure he knows this?
No, I'm not saying that. That's not what I'm saying.
Okay.
I was just asking, you know, if my son, he's been doing what he's supposed to do. I mean, why couldn't he come home and go to court from home?
On house arrest.
So the reason why, sir, is because when you say your son's doing what he's supposed to do, you understand that he actually stole a firearm, right? And he was placed on felony probation. I would not say he was doing what he was supposed to be doing. And while he's on felony probation, he is now named as a witness in a robbery shooting where somebody was shot. Okay, I don't think that's where he was doing what he was supposed to do. And while he was robbing somebody, he was trying to rob somebody of THC, a felony drug possession, which again, I don't think he was doing what he was supposed to be doing. And then when he came in, he's of course positive for THC. So while he's on probation, he's smoking weed, has a gun, robbing people. Do you still think he's doing what he's supposed to be doing?
I'm just saying, ain't people innocent until proven guilty? Who's to say he did it?
He's guilty of felony theft of a firearm. He admitted his guilt, and he's smoking weed while he's on probation.
He was, it's okay, Your Honor. I'm not trying to get you upset or anything. I'm just trying to talk for my son. That's it.
Yeah, I'm not upset. But you understand when you say he's doing what he's supposed to be doing while he's on felony probation, while he has a gun, while he's robbing people, allegedly, and while he's smoking weed, definitively, you're telling me he's doing what he's supposed to be doing. Now, the concern for me is if he wants probation, I have to approve this, at which point the things that you're saying does not give me much confidence that the home is a good environment for him. Like he was smoking weed while he's on probation while living in your house.
He was already dirty, Your Honor, before they put him on probation. But it's okay. I don't want to go back and forth with you. You know, I was just trying to speak for my son, trying to get him home. That's all.
So he was placed on probation when?
I don't know the exact date.
Your Honor, he was placed on probation on November 6, 2025.
Right. So he was smoking weed. He had 3 months to pee clean, and he didn't. So, sir, I mean, what did you and your wife do to keep him from smoking weed while he's on felony probation?
He wasn't on probation no 3 months.
He only been dropped one time, and then he only been dropped twice total since he been on.
Dropped? What does drop mean?
Like urine testing. I'm sorry.
So he was placed on probation.
You know, when you use a lot of marijuana, it takes a while to get out your system. Everybody.
Are you a physician, sir?
I mean, no, but I know. I mean,
how long does it take for marijuana to get out of your system?
I know it takes longer than what they say it do.
Really?
I know that.
How do you know that? What peer-reviewed study have you read?
I'm 46 years old. I've been living a long time, Your Honor. Like I said, I'm not trying to argue or nothing, man. If you're gonna detain them, you're gonna detain them. It's like y'all just keep telling him.
Hold on, sir. I'm not man. I'm not dude. Right? I'm judge.
Okay, Your Honor. I'm sorry. I'm not trying. That's what I'm saying. I'm not trying to. I was just trying to speak for my son. That's all. We can count. We can. It can be over with now. I'm sorry. I ain't I'm just trying to speak for my son. That's it.
Sir.
Man, ain't real, man.
Clearly, you're enabling your son. You're justifying his marijuana.
I'm not enabling my son. Do you hear what he's saying?
You're telling me that for 3 months, marijuana doesn't get out of his system, that his marijuana use was before he went on probation. One, physiologically, that's not possible. All right. Second,
yes.
Why was he smoking marijuana even before he went on probation? Like, you're saying that's okay.
I'm not saying that's okay, but it's a different day. You know, it's not like when we was growing up. These kids these days, it's a different day. It's different. Everything is different now with these kids. There's only so much we can do.
I guarantee that I can give my son a drug test and he will not test positive for marijuana.
Don't.
All right. Okay, Your Honor.
So
I don't want to
there
hold the
is,
court up.
when you
I'm
say there's
sorry. I'm
nothing
sorry
we
for
can
even
do,
saying anything.
when you say there's nothing we can do to keep these kids from smoking marijuana, you know, the majority of kids do not smoke marijuana, right? The majority of kids in this detention hearing do, but the majority of kids out there don't. You seem to be justifying and enabling your son saying, hey, I can't stop it from happening, so I'm just going to let it happen. That is actually what enabling is.
Okay, Your Honor. Okay, you got it. Thank you.
All right. So, Savan, we'll see you in 10 days.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Shit, man. Oh, fuck you, man. I bet I can get my key.
It wasn't too painful, was it? Okay. Antonio.
Yes, sir.
All right, Antonio. I'm Judge Kent. This is a detention hearing. You've been here for 10 days, so I'm reviewing your case, deciding whether to release you or to keep you in custody. If I release you, you'll see a judge every 10 days while you're here. You have the right to remain silent. You have the right to an attorney. Okay.
I'm here, Judge.
All right. Hi, Mr. Hall.
Hello, Judge.
Okay, so you are, so you had no prior cases. And then January 11th, 3:30 in the afternoon, Fort Worth PD dispatched a robbery. Caller said he was just robbed by 3 black males with a gun and they fled. Real-time crime center saw 2 black males running from the location go to the Buttercup Apartments. The 2 suspects went to a breezeway, came out wearing different clothes, went towards the apartment entrance. Police arrived. The 2 suspects immediately started running. Police chased them, told them to stop. After a short chase, 2 were detained. One was Antonio, the other was a 23-year-old male. Victim said he had posted his Yamaha dirt bike on Facebook Marketplace. Contacted by Derek. The victim agreed to meet at a park. Victim went to the park, approached by 3 black males. Victim started the bike and one of the males produced a black handgun, pointed at the victim. One male got on the bike, drove off, other 2 ran away. Police talked to the adult male, read him as Miranda. Adult confirmed that he and Antonio were involved in the robbery, and Antonio, you were the one who had the gun and pointed at the victim. Okay. That you were at Khan Academy. Is the mother here? No. All right. Okay. Wesley, was the gun ever found? Is Wesley here?
Judge Kim, looks like Mr. Lahara is covering that case. Looks like he's having some issues with his microphone.
Okay. Is there a thumb up or thumb down? Was the gun ever recovered? Yes. Thumbs up for recovered, thumbs down. All right. Okay, Antonio. So as you remember, generally when a child's brought in here on a gun-related offense, my inclination is to detain them. I'm concerned about kids having guns. I don't mind kids having guns under supervision, but it looks like your only supervisor at the time was a 23-year-old male that was a participant in the robbery. So I do believe you are a danger to the community. The fact that the gun has not been found also gives me great concern that you would have access to a firearm if I was to release you. So your stay here will last quite a while. All right. Okay. Thank you, Antonio. We'll see you in 10 days.
Thanks, Judge.
Thank you, Mr. Hall. Jarius.
And I'm here, Judge.
Okay. All right. Hello, Ms. Keaton. All right. So you're level 1 outstanding. All right, Jarius, this is a detention hearing. Been here for 10 days, reviewing your case, deciding whether to keep you or release you. If I keep you, you'll see a judge every 10 days while you're here. You have the right to remain silent, right to an attorney. All right. So Jarius, You're on probation for aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. Do we know, is this,
It's mine, Your Honor, and it was a knife.
it was a knife? Who is the
Yes.
victim on this one?
It was his family, Your Honor.
Okay, so a family violence case. He's on probation. Started January 6th of 26, then January 10th of 26. Wait, 4 days after he was placed on probation?
That is correct, Your Honor.
Okay. Referred by Fort Worth PD. Fort Worth responded to domestic, said prior to the arrival, you had left the home with a knife, talked to victim and witness that your mom tried to take electronics away from the children. You got agitated, hit your stepfather by throwing punches and hitting him. You had cuts to his lip. While police were there, you returned home without the knife, placed under arrest for continuous family violence. And then you just got to level 1 4 days ago. Do we know what his behavior problems were?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Can you go over this with me?
So he's just had one minor, Your Honor, for using profanity. However, I'm assuming that must have dropped him to an A.
All right. So it's the aggravated assault against a family member with a knife, and then 4 days out. Was he in detention leading up to that?
No, sir, he wasn't. I apologize, Your Honor. It does show that he was confined on the 20th. However, unfortunately, detention did not provide that information in here as to why he was confined.
And to answer your question, Judge, no, he was not. He had been released to his family, I want to say in December. I can't remember exactly when he was released, but he was released.
So he was doing fine pre-adjudication on what he's on probation for, got probation, then 4 days later, basically the same offense? Or I guess he didn't have the knife on the second one. This is just a continuous. Is he on medication?
So, Your Honor, I am covering this case. However, it does show in the documentation that he did have medication. I'm not sure if he is currently taking it.
I know that they've had to kind of tinker with his medication, but he is supposed to be on medication.
And his parents stated that she would be present today.
I am here. I'm sorry. I'm here. Yes, ma'am.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi, Mom. So I'm glad you're here. So does he have any mental health diagnoses?
Not yet. So we have been working with JPS has not been giving him an accurate diagnosis. So the medicine that they were on, his therapist, obviously she can't give a full diagnosis, but is believed that he is not on the right medication. But we have still been giving it to him. He's been very compliant with it, but we have been working. We also tried to do an evaluation while he was there to see if he can get a proper diagnosis.
When's the last time you saw a psychiatrist?
He saw them in November. So before he got detained in November, before this last time. And the psychiatrist there felt that there was not, they told me verbatim that there was nothing wrong with him, and they told me to come pick him up when I had concerns about his mental health. He was transported to the hospital from school.
So is that like,
I'm sorry.
I apologize for interrupting. So when he saw the last time he saw the psychiatrist, that was at a hospital, or was it just like his normal treating psychiatrist?
No, it was at the hospital.
Does he have a regular treating psychiatrist?
Yes, she is in Arlington. So the other thing with that is they have been rescheduling his appointment. So they prescribed him, the last thing they prescribed him was something that was supposed to help with his mood. But other than that, they have not even renewed the prescription or anything. So he's supposed to be on 2 medications, but they have not renewed the Abilify, which is supposed to help with his mood.
So this is my thought. Look, Look, I'm not comfortable releasing him to you, not when 4 days after he's on felony probation, he ends up with the same type of offense, also involving a knife. Now, this time he didn't brandish the knife or stab anybody, but certainly that came into play. Ma'am, can you set up another psychiatric appointment? Does a doctor do telemedicine?
That I'm not sure, but I actually working with his probation officer and his therapist, I actually found a different psychiatrist that we're hoping will get him a better treatment.
So let's set up the appointment. We'll make your son available, either take him physically if we have to, or make him available through telemedicine. So we can try and do that. I want to watch his behavior. I'm not really comfortable releasing him yet. He seems to behave, well, I don't know. We don't have documents, but if he was confined at one point, he's still having outbursts and problems here. But I'd like to get that under control.
Yes, sir.
What is he diagnosed with?
So they gave him his diagnosis from when he was 8. So they said that they were just gonna stick with that. So it's DMDD, which is disruptive mood dysregulation disorder. And then they said that he had severe depression. So one of the medications, the one that he has there, is for depression, but it's like that's a treatment to the symptom. That's not what's gonna help him.
No ADHD code diagnosis?
No, we are on the lines of bipolar, but again, they're saying he's too young for that. So I'm hoping that this new person can give him a proper diagnosis. I'm sorry.
No, that's fine. Let's tell you what. Amelia, let's go ahead and I want to order a psychological evaluation also for this child. I think there's a lot of things going on. Did I already do that?
You did, Your Honor. So
Okay.
the court officer, Ms. K&N, approached you last week, and you made that order, Your Honor.
Okay, well, at least I'm consistent. So, okay, well, good. All right, well, all I can say then is to Jarius is just, try your best, do better, right? The options right now, I'm not really keen on sending you back home on probation with giving your history, but we're certainly looking at maybe a placement, long-term placement that can help you with your psychological and psychiatric issues. If we can't, then ultimately you're going to TJJD. So try and do better than you are. All right. So I am detaining you. We'll see you in 10 days. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
May I be excused, Your Honor?
Yes. Stay warm, Tracy.
Okay, thanks. You too. Bye.
Saul.
He's here, Your Honor.
Okay. There we go. Hello, Saul. I'm Judge Kim. This is a detention hearing. You've been here for 10 days, reviewing your case, deciding whether to keep you in custody or to release you. If I keep you in custody, you'll have to see a judge every 10 days while you're here. You have the right to remain silent. You have the right to an attorney. If you cannot afford an attorney, one will be provided for you. Okay. So you're 16 and 10 months. Never been here before. November 22nd, Fort Worth PD dispatched a robbery. When they got there, victim said he came to Woodway Drive to hang out with a friend. The other victim, the two finished a TikTok live stream, and after 2 males walked into the home with face coverings, holding handguns, one stating, "That's what you get for going on TikTok live." Both victims had guns pointed at them. The second victim's cell phone was taken by this one suspect. Other suspect hit the first victim in the head, pistol whipping him several times, took items including his slides, bracelet, necklace, AirPods, and cell phone after making him remove all his clothing. So the first victim told police that she recognized 100% certainty that one was Saul. Said she had been best friends with Saul's sister for years, and she was over at their house on Thursday when you were wearing the same hoodie. And then she also said, "You're lucky you're my sister's friend, or I would have killed you." They took some more property from the house, like a PlayStation, forced the second victim to come with them at gunpoint. They forced him into an SUV with a third person with a long gun in the driver's seat. They tracked the phone. It was at a park. The second victim has told police that two suspects make him walk into the creek in the park while they record him on his phone. Based on the phone's GPS records, they cross-referenced to real-time crime center, identified the car registered to your sister. So you're 16 years and 10 months, but currently homeschooled at a 6th grade education level. Mom, is the mom here?
Mom is present, Your Honor.
Okay. Oh, is she? Is she in the waiting room or? Okay. Mom doesn't even check if you're logging in online or not. Post-COVID, you've had all kinds of behavior problems, so that's why you don't go to public school. All right, so you have 2 counts of aggravated robbery and 1 aggravated kidnapping with a deadly weapon. All right, so I'm letting you know I'm not releasing you, no intention of releasing you, letting you know that you do have a hearing coming up on February 25th for me to decide whether I'm going to certify you as an adult. If I do, you are potentially looking at 3 different life sentences with parole for these offenses. If I decide not to certify you, you're looking at potentially up to 40 years of confinement in the juvenile justice system, of which I could transfer you to the adult system to complete the remainder of your sentence. So this is really serious. Yeah, and then you've also had behavior problems too. You got to level 1 on January 11th, and you've been here for about 80 days or so. Like, you're causing problems. You're not doing much to help you. So I just make better decisions or don't. I mean, that's up to you, but you're free to make a choice. You're just not free to choose the consequence. All right, so we'll see you in 10 days. Hey, I don't know how all these detention hearings I missed out. First time I read this case. Did I? I don't remember it all. All right, next one's Justin.
Yes, sir.
All right, do we have a parent here?
We do, Your Honor. Yes, sir, I'm here.
All right. Hello, sir. Okay, Justin, I'm Judge Kim. This is a detention hearing. The law says when a child's been here for 10 days, you have to see a judge. I have to decide whether to keep you here to release you. If I keep you here, then you have to see a judge every 10 days while you're here. You do have the right to remain silent. You have the right to an attorney. If you can't afford an attorney, one will be provided for you. So you're on probation for evading arrest on foot, which is a misdemeanor. I issued a warrant for you on December 12th because you ran away from home. Turned yourself in December 22nd. See, on December 8th, stepmoms told us that you ran away from home during the night. They didn't know where you were. You had tested positive for marijuana on December 5th. Dad, is that the private UAs y'all were giving, or is one that we gave him?
That was the one y'all gave him.
Okay. All right, so a runaway report was filed. So on December 12th, we got a report.
As confidential operations here now. Yeah, do you make connections? Is that a long thing? No, it's diversion. Well, it's not. Colorful attention.
Mr. Wells, are there people in the background there talking?
I don't know. I think my kids just cut my TV on. I'm sorry. Give me 1 second. I'm sorry.
That's fine.
I'm sorry about that, Judge Cam. My
Sure,
younger
it
kids
happens.
did that.
Yeah, I'm glad you fixed it. Okay, so you're 17 years old, but it turns out that on December 22nd, we got a notification that there was a homicide on Snow Ridge Drive, of which you were named being at the location of the homicide by 2 different witnesses. And that there's an active adult warrant for you for the offense of manslaughter by the Fort Worth Police Department. And while you're on probation, smoking weed. Okay. So, all right, Justin, honestly, you're 17 years old. You have a misdemeanor evading on foot. Now you're looking at an adult manslaughter case. I don't know if there's anything the juvenile justice system can do for you. So I'm going to go ahead and release you with the active warrant. You're going to be going to the Tarrant County Jail for the Sheriff's Department. If you post bond, you get to post bond. If you don't, you don't. But the problems that you have in life are much bigger than what I can do for you. So in a way, I'm just kind of giving up on you. Yeah, any kind of bond condition that the adult court will put on you will be more restrictive than anything we'll do on probation for you. All right. So, Justin, I hope your manslaughter charge works out for you. But either way, like, there's nothing I can do for you anymore. All right.
Thanks, Judge
All right.
Cam.
So yeah. So hey, we tried. Is Brian Willett here? All right. So whoever's covering, I guess who's the probation officer covering?
I'm covering.
All right, Mr. Miller. Let's get the jacket over to me if we can. I'm going to amend the terms of this probation, but at this point, I don't think the juvenile justice system can do anything more for this young man.
Yes,
So
sir.
he's getting,
All right. Thank you, everyone.
Judge Cam, so he's getting transferred to Tarrant County?
Yes, I'm going to release him from our juvenile detention facility, and then the sheriff will pick him up, and he'll be housed in the county jail. Is there a bond set on his manslaughter case?
I'm not for sure.
Justin, is there a bond set on yours?
I don't believe there is yet.
Okay. Yeah, there should be a bond set. Whatever the judge or the magistrate, this one, the district judge needs to set for this level of offense. So what do they set the bond at? You know, I'm gonna release my hold on you, but you do need to pay attention to whatever rules that the criminal district judge sets for you. Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right. Thank you.
God bless.
Thank you,
Imani.
Judge Cam.
Thank you, sir. All right. Do we have Imani?
Yes, Your Honor, she's here.
Okay. Hello. Okay. Do we have a parent? Do we have Imani's parent? Okay, guess not. All right, Imani. So I'm Judge Kim. This is a detention hearing. When a child's brought in, you have to see a judge within 2 days. I have to decide whether to keep you in custody or to release you. If I keep you in custody, the law says you must see a judge every 10 days while you're here. You have the right to remain silent. You have the right to an attorney. If you cannot afford an attorney, one will be provided for you. So, Imani, so on Saturday, January 24th, Arlington PD dispatched a domestic call indicated daughter you was a complainant. You're telling dispatch that your mom pulled your hair. There's a current CPS case. When police arrived, they met with you. You told the police that your mother had been scolding your sister about cleaning up. You were brought into the conversation as well. Mom asked for your cell phones to confiscate them as a consequence for being untidy. You told the police CPS worker told you that you do not have to surrender your cell phone to your mother, and you refused to hand it over repeatedly. All right, Imani, I can tell you that's a lie. Mom began to throw your item. Then you said mom started throwing your items out. You stuck your foot out to block your mom. Then you said your mom started to assault you. So you push your mom off, but claim to have never struck her. Your brother separated them. You called 911. Police talked to mom. She said the house was dirty. All the kids were in their rooms. Mom was saying she was asking for their cell phones. You refused. Mom went into your room to search for the phone, which you had hidden. While searching, mom said you put her foot on her body. Mom was offended by the contact, swiped your foot off of her. Then she said you reacted by swinging your fist at her and punched her in the face. Mom said she tried to discipline you. You kept on fighting back, punching her multiple times before your brother intervened by grabbing you. Then she said you pushed yourself off of your brother, ran up to your mom, punched her again in the face. Police saw no visible injuries, but mom confirmed feeling pain, wished to prosecute. All right. Well.
Hello, Judge Kim.
Yes.
I'm
Yes.
sorry. It wouldn't let me turn the mic on. Now I turn my video off.
Okay. Well, it happens. I'm glad that you're here. Sounds everyone's home. We have these problems. So look, Ms. Battles, I'm glad you're here. I'm just going to let you know there's only two ways to see this. One, if I believe what Imani says, I don't think you're appropriate supervision for her. If I believe what you say, I don't think she's willing to accept your supervision. So, and I'm not making a judgment. This is not a final decision. I'm just simply saying, it's either one or the other. And in no way is it appropriate for mine to go back. I want to keep her here. I want to see her behavior level. I want to see if mediation will work within the family. Imani, I'm going to let you know, if I do release you, it's going to be with an order that you're to have no cell phone for 90 days. All right. So just understand, you don't have a cell phone here. If I release you, you're not going to have a cell phone there. This is the rule that I'm setting up. Your mom has no option on this one. If things are going to escalate this much over a cell phone, then you know what? Just take the phone away. It's really that simple to me. Don't, like, it's bad enough when CPS gets involved. When you start lying about what CPS says, like, that's just, you got to think of a lie that's more reasonable. That's just not believable. All right. So, Imani, I'm detaining you. We'll see you in 10 days. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you, ma'am. No, I really can't. So, Kenisa.
Yes, sir.
Okay, hello, ma'am. Do we have a parent here?
Yes, Your Honor. Her father should be on, and potentially her maternal grandmother also stated she'd be present in mom's place.
Kenisa's father, are you here?
Yes, sir.
Okay, hello, sir.
How you doing?
I'm doing all right. Let's see what's going on. So, Kenisa, you're 15 years old. You have been here before. You started at 12 years old as a runaway from out of county. Then you were brought in for resisting arrest, injury to a child, elderly, or disabled. You were placed on probation for harassment of public servant. Is this spitting on a peace officer or something?
Yes, Your Honor. It did involve spitting on an officer.
Okay. And then you're arrested again for aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, which the DA dismissed. And then you're brought in for a probation violation, which we just extended your probation. So now December 4th, I issue a warrant because you got another harassment of public servant. Dad said he picked you up from JPS. In July, I made an order that she is not allowed to live with the father. So, sir, is that correct? I made an instruction she cannot live with you?
Not to my memory, sir. July of last year?
Yes, sir.
Not to my memory. She was living with her friend's mother. Me and her mother had signed over temporary guardianship for her schooling and stuff with her friend's mom.
When our probation officers told you to bring her to detention, you refused to do so?
No. Yeah, in a way, yeah. I just checked my call log and I have over 10 calls reporting for her to get picked up, but it was to no avail. And I told him, when I did talk to him, he made that statement. And I told him it would kind of be hard to do that with her actions and whatnot. But I've made numerous calls to law enforcement about it, as well as juvenile center.
You are not sure that can't live with father?
So, Your Honor, if you'd like, I can provide you clarity. It was back in July. A progress report was submitted to the court, and it was Judge Sorrells actually, and there was an open CPS investigation at the time with some sensitive matters. And so because of those investigations, Judge Sorrells stated that she was not authorized to live with father and that she must live with mother. And so nothing has changed since July, so probation has still operated under that assumption.
That's good. All right, so in this situation, both things can be true then. Sir, what is she diagnosed? What is your daughter diagnosed with?
She has the impulsive, disruptive, I can't believe I remember what it's called, but it's basically like impulsive medication that she takes as well as a mood stabilizer.
Oh.
Disruptive mood disorder, I believe it is.
All right, so Ms. Gregory, look, I'm trying to figure this out. So she was brought in yesterday. Was she brought over directly from JPS? Is that what happened?
No, Your Honor, I know it is a little bit complex. So basically, the youth was living with a godmother through authorization of the court following November because neither parent was willing or able through your orders to take her in. So she lived with godmother. We enrolled her in FPP. However, she allegedly assaulted godmother. And so the police picked her up, brought her to Kimbo, but she was diverted to JPS due to her mental state. And then at JPS is where she allegedly committed the harassment. She was released from JPS, I'm not sure why, into father's care. And so JPD immediately made contact with father, stated, hey, she's not supposed to be with you. We've issued a warrant for her. Please bring her in. And then that's, the next 2 months occurred where we made multiple contacts to try to get her back in. Father stated that she was going between his house, mother's house, and that he did not feel comfortable transporting her to our facility. And so she was ultimately picked up at his home yesterday.
So why did she end up going to JPS?
So she went, right. So the police took her from godmother's house for the alleged assault, which we have no paperwork on that, and brought her to Kimbo, but Kimbo would not accept her due to her altered mental state at the time. They requested that she be evaluated. So she was diverted to JPS. They cleared her and then released her to father.
Okay. All right, Kanisha, so we sent you over JPS just to make sure everything was addressed that need to be addressed. But otherwise, you do belong in Kimbo for what happened at your godmother's house. So I'm detaining you. We'll see you in 10 days. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Thank
Brunei.
you, Judge.
Thank you,
Might be
Mrs.
released.
Jorge.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Brunei? Okay, hello. I'm Judge. Are you Brunei?
I'm Renee.
Brunei, I'm sorry. Okay, do we have a parent here for Brunei?
Yes, sir, I'm present.
Okay, hello, ma'am. So I'm Judge Kim. This is a detention hearing. I'm making a decision whether to keep you or release you. If I keep you, you'll see a judge every 10 days while you're here. You have the right to remain silent. You have a right to an attorney. If you can't afford an attorney, one will be provided for you. Okay, Brunei, you're 15. You've never been here before. January 23rd. Was that Friday? No. Yeah, Friday. SRO at Arlington Heights was notified about an assault. Investigation revealed that SRO was watching cameras, saw Brene and the victim walk in the hall when you slapped the victim several times with an open hand. The victim refused to speak to the SRO, refused to fill out the victim's statement, but the police officer felt a reasonable person would have felt pain. And officer discovered that the two were in a dating relationship. You live at home with your mom, 3 siblings. Your father's passed away. So the history of sneaking out at night. All right, Mom, did you say you're here?
Yes, sir.
Okay, hello, ma'am. All right. Victim, do we know who that is? Do you know? Have you talked to the SRO at all?
Yes.
Okay. Can you help me out on this one?
Did I talk to the boyfriend? The friend boy?
Yeah, I mean, is the boyfriend the alleged victim on this?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you know the story? What's going on?
Yeah, so apparently she prior to this situation, she was upset with him
What?
about a situation. He's supposed to have been saying that he's going to talk to another young lady. And so this is prior. And so on the days of this situation, he was bringing up the female's name, saying that he's going to go talk to her. And she began to hit him with a hall pass. And then a teacher, someone saw them and was like, told him like, hey, cut that out. And so he was like, she calmed down after he said that. Then he proceeded to say the girl name again, and that brought on the slapping. And that's what he told me happened.
That's what he told you happened?
Yeah. I don't know.
What's his name?
Darius.
Do you know the last name?
No.
Okay. Well, if your 15-year-old daughter's dating a boy, I think you should know his last name.
Correct.
Fair enough? Okay.
Yeah.
That's fine.
It's fair.
Okay. So, yeah, I don't think this is really what our family violence laws were intended for, but it is what it is. Brene, I'm going to go ahead and release you. I am going to put you on electronic monitor because I don't like to sneak you out in the middle of the night. Mom, I'm sure you don't appreciate that either. And then you're to have no contact with this Darius boy. Okay? All right. Any questions?
No, sir.
Brene, any questions?
No.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you, ma'am. Jeremiah.
Yes, sir.
Good. Thank you. All right, Jeremiah. So this is a detention hearing. I'm making a decision whether to keep you in custody or to release you. If I keep you in custody, the law says you must see a judge every 10 days while you're here. You have the right to remain silent. You have the right to an attorney. If you can't afford an attorney, one will be provided for you.
Yes, sir.
Do you have a parent here?
Hmm?
Do you have a parent here?
Not in here. No. I don't
Okay,
believe.
Jeremiah, I have a bunch of questions. I don't want you to talk. You have the right to remain silent, and I want you to use it. There's a lot going on here. I don't really want to proceed without talking to your parents. Okay, so I'm
Judge,
gonna. Yes.
Judge, this is my experience. I'm kind of all over the map trying to find a computer that wants to listen to me. Mom was here. She couldn't get her computer to put her name on the thing, and so you kicked her out.
Oh no, that's the one who started and just, yeah, she wouldn't turn the camera on and her name wasn't right.
Yeah.
And that she started kind of just talking at the beginning as soon as she jumped in. Just being disruptive. Yeah. No, I have a lot of questions. Mike, do you know how he got here from Dallas County?
I believe this offense happened in Tarrant County.
But he resides in Dallas County, correct?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, do you know how they got here from Dallas County?
No, I do not.
Do you know how they knew the victim?
No, I do not.
Yeah, a lot of unanswered questions. So I am going to detain him until I can figure out more. This is a public. I believe he's a danger to other people if I was to release him. All right. All right. Thank you.
Your Honor, I'm on the next one too.
Okay.
I left a voicemail for Mom. She actually is a TYC parolee or TJJD parolee. We're expecting the worker to be on the line.
On the next one?
Oh, yes.
Okay. All right. Oh, for Brianna?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. Thank you. All right. So, Brianna. All right, Brianna. So, I'm Judge Kim. This is a detention hearing. When a child's brought in, you have to see a judge within 2 days. I have to decide whether to keep you in custody or to release you. If I keep you in custody, the law says you must see a judge every 10 days while you're here. You have the right to remain silent. You have a right to an attorney. If you can't afford an attorney, I will provide one for you. All right, Brianna. So, I committed you to TJJD for violating your probation for felony identity theft. I remember, because you had all kinds of problems, and I think you were the ones that you did absolutely nothing right on probation. So you were paroled by TJJD. So one of the reasons why I violated your probation and committed you is for removing your EM and running away. TJJD put you on parole, and while you're on parole, you cut off your EM and ran away. You were placed at a long-term placement by TJJD, but discharged for assaulting staff and other residents and destroying property. So TJJD put you back in your home for you did this. You have like 20 prior runaways. Thefts. And civil trespasses.
Your Honor, it's been brought to my attention that the TJJD parole officer might be in one of the waiting rooms.
Was that branch? Oh.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Is there a TJJD representative? You just joined in?
Here's their screen's dark. There you go.
There we go. Hey. Yeah. Well, look, I think this young lady. Like, what do y'all want us to do?
We are, so I was instructed by my supervisor yesterday as actually Friday, after hours on Friday, to try to arrange a meeting involving myself, both of my supervisors, Mr. and Mrs. Nowak, and Miss Nowak also has an adult probation officer. I reached out to the adult probation department. They flatly declined. They said that they don't attend meetings involving juveniles unless by under order of subpoena.
Who's Nowak? You said Nowak. I don't know what that means.
Mr. and Mrs. Nowak. That I'm assuming. Are we talking about Brianna Mulder? Or are we talking about another?
So we're talking about Brianna, and we only use first names on these years. That's right.
Okay. Yeah. So Tara and Jason Nowak that is her mother and her stepfather, who are understandably perplexed about this situation. But we wanted to have a meeting to discuss possibilities going forward. At this point, we're we're out of ideas. As far as, what to do with her. We're told by our leadership that bed space is too big of an issue to try to revoke her and keep her in there for a long period of time. We did put her at Roots Renewal Ranch. She got kicked out of Roots Renewal Ranch on Christmas Day, no less. So
She was assaulting people on Christmas Day?
I don't.
Allegedly?
Allegedly, yes, sir. Allegedly. So we're looking at. We would humbly ask. It's not going to take us. It shouldn't take us more than the time that she would be detained, which would be 10 days for us to get together and have a meeting and come together with some kind of plan. I mean, honestly, we'll have the meeting. I just, at this point, I don't know what that plan's going to be. We tried Roots Renewal Ranch. I know we have at least one other girl who's from another county that's going to another facility that is farther away. That may be something that we discuss. But that kind of goes back to the problems that Tarrant County Juvenile Probation had in trying to get her to placements, and that these placements would see how she acted when they were in detention, and they would decline to take her. So we're like I said, we're kind of flat-footed here, trying to figure out what the next logical step will be for the good of all parties involved.
Well, I get it. And there's a reason why I committed her, is because there's nothing, that we could do for her. I just like to relate back to some of your supervisors that basically told me stop committing these kids. I'm like, pick them up, you'll see why they're committed. So at this point, I'll definitely extend the courtesy to y'all to hold her for now while y'all figure out what's going on. I'm not even in a rush. At this point, if I release her, she's a danger to herself and the community. So I'm kind of stuck here.
Yes, sir.
Eventually, we can't do long-term housing, but I know y'all are working hard on this one. I'm not stressed about this. So
yes, sir.
As long as y'all are making progress, we'll hold on to Brianna for the short term.
Okay.
Here's the thing she has to worry about, because I think she is, how old is she? She's 15?
Yes, Your Honor. 15 years, 8 months.
Yeah, so what she has to worry about is she assaults her staff, that she becomes certifiable. And then she becomes a TDC problem. Yep. Okay.
Boy.
All right. So, well, anyways, sir, thank you for the good work y'all doing. I appreciate y'all. Our female waiting list is getting pretty long, right?
Yes, sir. I am well aware of that, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. I can't help myself reminding you.
I understand, sir, completely.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Brianna. I'm detaining you. We'll see you in 10 days.
Okay. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Dontrell.
Yes, sir.
All right. I'm Judge Kim. This is a detention hearing. Make a decision whether to keep you or release you. If I keep you, you'll see a judge every 10 days while you're here. You have the right to remain silent. You have a right to an attorney. If you can't afford an attorney, one will be provided for you. All right. So Friday, Fort Worth PD dispatched a domestic. You were upset with your 16-year-old brother after one of you called mom a bitch.
Yes, sir.
So you punched your brother in the face, causing pain, put him in a headlock, then let go, got a large knife, threatened to kill your brother while waving the knife around, causing Donald to fear for his life. Grandma was on scene, confirmed you were the aggressor. All right, so you had an assault case back in 23, and you and your family failed to appear for 3 meetings. You have a parent here? Grandma is here?
I think my mama and my sister.
All right, where's mama and sister?
They should be, so I think they should be in the front. I don't know.
Are the parents for Dontrell here? No. Oh, one. You're saying yes.
Oh, yes, you're right there.
Judge, it looks like Maxine Norman is trying to talk, but microphone.
Maxine?
She on mute.
Maxine, you're on mute.
Yeah.
There. Hello, Maxine. Are you Dontrell's mother?
Sir.
Okay. So were you there when this all happened?
Yes, sir.
Can you tell me what you recall from happening?
How it got started, I just came in from my grandfather, laying my grandfather down. So my mom asked me a question about going to the store. I told her no because of the incident that happened with my oldest son. So he jumps up and he say, leave his name out.
What incident?
Well, when I had bought groceries and I told them to go get the groceries out the car. And my oldest son refused to go get the groceries out the car.
Which one's older, Dontrell or Donald?
Donald.
Donald. Okay.
So as it proceeded, I heard my oldest son, Donald, call me out my name. My mom said he didn't. He said he didn't. So I kind of left it alone or whatever. So he said something about, I don't remember the statement, but he kept calling me a B, saying if you want me to call you a B, then you a B, and this and a third. So Dontrell said, you're going to quit calling mama a B, and got up, and he got up, and they started fighting. My oldest son started saying that he was gonna kill him, and so he ended up, saying that he was gonna kill him back. He got a weapon. My mama took it from him. Dontrell got a weapon, but at that time, I had called the police and told them what was going on. I wanted them to stop fighting in the apartment, so I wanted the police to come out and talk to them. But at the time, my son got mad because I had called and said his name to the police people.
Son.
So he turned around and called the police.
Which
and
son?
said-
Which
my
son
oldest
got
son,
mad? Okay.
my oldest son. So
Okay.
he got mad and called the police on Dontrell. And that's when he said that he had a knife. But at the time he had a weapon too, but my mom took it from him before he made that phone call.
What was that weapon?
So he said,
What kind of weapon was it?
huh?
What kind of weapon was it?
A knife.
So they both had knives at one point?
Yeah. Well, Donald had a knife first, and my mom took it from him. And then Dontrell grabbed the knife.
Okay. So how old is Donald?
He's 16.
Okay. Does your mama live with you?
No, she was just visiting.
Can you separate the boys?
She was keeping them separated.
No. Can you separate the boys, one to live in each home?
Yes.
That's fine. I'll let you decide what's more appropriate. So I'm okay with. Yes, ma'am.
The only thing is, we don't know about no situation with him in 2023. That's probably with my oldest son, because he would fight my mom at that time, and the police came out. That's the only incident I know, but they never stated that we had to go to.
Ma'am,
But
it involves ma'am. It involves Dontrell. If you have questions, you can talk to the probation officer and they can give you detail. I have very basic details on that. Okay.
okay,
So
as far
I'm
as
okay.
ma'am.
Ma'am. All right. So I'm going to release Dontrell, but there's going to be an order that you cannot live in the same household as Donald. Okay. So I'll let you decide where each boy lives, but they cannot live under the same roof while this case is pending. Okay.
Okay, that's fine.
All right. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Honor.
Thank you. Okay, so we're now broadcasting these proceedings since we're conducting these proceedings on Zoom as required by Texas statute, the Office of Court Administration and the Supreme Court of Texas. All right, so this is in cause number 113873. Gerard Coleman on a hearing under 54.11 of the Texas Family Code for this court to determine whether this person is transferred to the Texas Department of Criminal Justice to complete the remainder of their sentence or to be or released into the community under supervision or the TDC parole. The court will take judicial notice of the court's file and all of its contents. Specifically, on May 14th of 2021, this court found the respondent, Gerard Coleman, delinquent for the felony offenses of aggravated assault of deadly weapon on 2 counts. In a separate and distinct hearing, this court found a need for rehabilitation and committed the child to the Texas Juvenile Justice Department for a period of 10 years. Subsequently, this court received notice from the Texas Juvenile Justice Department requesting a hearing to determine whether this person should be transferred to TDC or paroled into the community. We are now here for that hearing. Mr. Coleman, I want to explain what's going on. The law states that when you have not paroled from the Texas Juvenile Justice Department, that you, if by request from TJJD, you are entitled to a hearing before me. I'm the sentencing court to determine whether you should be paroled or not. This is a hearing simply about whether, in my discretion, I feel it is more appropriate for you to be paroled or for you to be transferred to TDC to complete the remainder of your 10-year sentence. You do have certain rights at this hearing. You have the right to remain silent. You have the right to have an attorney. You have the right to cross-examine and confront adverse witnesses. You have the right to present evidence and argument, and you have the right, through your attorney, to examine any report that will be used at this hearing. Now, there are different factors I must consider at this hearing. I must consider the experiences and character of you before and after commitment to the Texas Juvenile Justice Department. I must consider the nature of the penal offense that you were found to have committed and the manner in which the offense was committed. I must consider the abilities of you to contribute to society. I must consider the protection of the victim of the offense or any member of the victim's family. I must consider the recommendations of the Texas Juvenile Justice Department, County Juvenile Board, Local Juvenile Probation Department, and the prosecuting attorney. I must also consider the best interests of you and any other factor relevant to the issue to be decided. At the conclusion of this hearing, I may order your return to the Texas Juvenile Justice Department or transfer to the custody of the Texas Department of Criminal Justice for the completion of your sentence. If I do return you to the custody of the Texas Juvenile Justice Department, I may return you with approval for release under supervision or without approval for the release under supervision. If I do not make a determination before your 19th birthday, you will be returned to the Texas Juvenile Justice Department for release under supervision. Because you are over 17 years old, if I do order you returned to TJJD and you are not in custody anywhere, I may order you detained in the adult jail of Tarrant County, and the Tarrant County Sheriff shall take custody of you under the court's order. There is no agreement in this matter, Mr. Coleman, so you do have a right to appeal. I will explain that right further to you in writing later and provide a written copy of the admonishments to your attorney to provide to you. Mr. Coleman, do you have any questions for me?
No, sir.
Okay. All right, let's go ahead and get started. Any matters before we start?
No, Judge.
No, Your Honor.
Okay. Opening statements?
I waive, Judge.
Ms. Herrick.
I'll waive, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Sorrells, your first witness.
I would call Tammy Coy.
Ms. Coy, please raise your right hand. You solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give at this cause currently at trial, you will tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
I do.
All right, thank you. Mr. Sorrells, please proceed.
Thank you. Ms. Coy, can you please advise the court, where do you work?
The Texas Juvenile Justice Department.
And what is your job title and some of your duties?
I am the TJJD/TDCJ liaison, and I oversee the Sentenced Offender Department, and we process sentenced offender youth from our agency out to either TJJD parole, TDCJ parole, return to court for required hearings at 19, or return to court for early transfer hearings.
And as part of your duties, do you create what's called or compile what's called a master file?
Yes, for the court.
Okay. And did you have a master file compiled for the court in reference to Gerard Coleman?
Yes,
Okay. And you provided that to the court and the parties, correct?
I believe my staff did, yes.
And is Mr. Coleman currently on the Zoom hearing that you're able to see?
Yes.
Could you please identify an article of clothing that he's wearing and what the moniker or name is on the Zoom window that he's got?
He is in an orange and white striped uniform, and it says I Gunter.
Judge, I ask that the record reflect this witness has identified the respondent.
So reflect.
And Judge, at this time, I would like to offer Petitioner's Exhibit 1, which is a CD that contains the master file, and 1A for the record only, which is the sleeve. I provided that to the court, and I previously tendered that to defense counsel for inspection.
No
Objections to 1 or 1A?
No, Your Honor.
All right, so 1 and 1A are admitted.
Ms. Coy, does TJJD make a recommendation to the court as to if a child should be paroled or transferred to the Texas Department of Corrections?
Yes.
Sorry, I think I said the title wrong. What's the adult prison system that?
Well, it's the Correctional Institutions Division of TDCJ.
And TJJD makes a recommendation as to Mr. Coleman, correct?
Yes.
What is that recommendation?
TJJD is recommending that Gerard be transferred to the Correctional Institutions Division of TDCJ.
And the basis for that recommendation would be contained in that master file that the court's been provided, correct?
Yes.
I pass the witness, Judge.
Cross-examination. Ms. Herrick, I think you're on mute.
Thank you. Ms. Coy, when was the recommendation made? And when was the file completed and the recommendation made that he be transferred to the Correctional Institutional Division?
The file was made and submitted on August 1st of 2014, or of 2024, sorry. And the original request for transfer, let me see, was made June 18th of 2024.
At that time, was it known to TJJD that Mr. Coleman had some outstanding charges pending?
Yes.
Specifically, federal charges and some county charges?
Correct.
At the time the recommendation was made, was it known what or if the punishment would be on those federal and county charges?
No, it was not.
Your Honor, I'll pass the witness.
Redirect.
Nothing further, Judge.
So just to clarify, Ms. Coy, the original offense was Mr. Coleman was, I guess, him and some others had set up a drug deal and then ended up shooting the dealers. Is that correct?
Yes.
And do you know how many people were injured?
I know for sure there were, I believe, at least 2.
And this occurred outside of Gentleman's Club, is that correct?
Yes.
And according to your report, fired indiscriminately into a crowd?
Yes,
And then subsequently, TJJD paroled him, is that correct?
correct.
Okay, and how did he do on parole?
He was out on parole. He appeared to be following rules, working. And then it came to light that he was arrested and had received adult deferred adjudication for an offense, and then he was revoked for failure to report an offense to his parole officer and an arrest.
I'm sorry, when you say failure to report, you mean failed to show up to his parole officer or failed to report the offense?
Failed to report that he was arrested to his parole officer, which is a requirement of his parole.
What happened to his parole at that point?
It was revoked, and he was to be sent back for an extension of his stay with us.
So I do have a question. So this type of offense, the aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, that's a 2-year minimum period of confinement, correct?
Yes.
So what happens? So obviously he finished the 2 years, then he was paroled, and his parole was revoked. I've always been curious, does that mean he starts a new MPC, minimum period of confinement, or is he just revoked and then y'all would parole him again if it was appropriate? Is there a minimum period of time or just simply what TJJD feels is more appropriate?
So there are minimums, and they're assigned based on what the actual revocation offense is. They're 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, depending on what the offense is. He received a 3-month stay, minimum length of stay based on his revocation.
And what was the offenses that he was arrested for?
He was arrested for assault family violence, which we did not know about, and received adult deferred probation for that assault, and that was in February. And then he was arrested April 17th, I believe, for the federal offense.
What was that offense?
That was April. That was the theft and possession of a USPS mail key.
So simple theft?
No, it was, well, it's theft in the possession of the key. It's a federal offense for the stealing of the mail key, arrow key, whatever. I'm not sure what that is, but.
Because I was reading a report and I felt like there was an armed robbery of a postal carrier. Am I missing something?
That's what I'm discussing. Yes, that's what I've.
Okay, so that also did involve a firearm.
Yes, I believe so. Yes.
And did we confirm, I know in your report you said the family violence was on his pregnant girlfriend. Was that confirmed that she was pregnant, or is that just kind of in the report that you received?
That was in the report that I received.
What was Gerard's highest stage level while at TJJD?
He earned stage yes.
And is that before he was paroled or after his parole was revoked? How high did he get back up? Or did he ever come back to TJJD?
He never came back. He's been in federal custody this entire time.
So how many months of his original 10-year sentence has he completed?
He has completed a total of 45 months of his 10-year sentence.
But for him to be paroled, he completed the capital and violent offender program. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
So all the programs that TJJD normally has for an aggravated assault deadly weapon, all the assessments that you did as far as substance abuse, anger management, all the behavioral problems, he already completed all this successfully. Is that correct?
Correct.
And then even though he was paroled, he was then subsequently arrested for the armed robbery of a postal carrier.
Correct.
So typically what does TJJ do when a youth completes all the programs, is paroled, and is re-referred on another violent offense? Like, how do y'all decide what treatment a child would need? I know Mr. Coleman never had the opportunity, but I'm just curious, what would TJJD do in those situations?
So generally what happens is a youth would be returned to the facility. They would be reviewed by treatment to see if there were what treatment programs would be available. But just simply based on the revocation of their parole, we would also require a request a hearing to transfer over to TDCJ based on the parole revocation.
So typically, and not, I know every situation is different, but typically if this type of situation where it's an aggravated assault with a deadly, or multiple counts of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, and then a new adult offense involving a weapon, y'all would just, I mean, TJJ's kind of stance on this one is you would just refer for an early transfer of parole hearing. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, that's the questions I had for Ms. Coy, but traditionally I open it back up. Mr. Sorrells, if you had follow-up questions that I may have triggered anything.
I have no follow-up questions, Judge.
Ms. Herrick, I want to give you the opportunity as well.
Thank you, Your Honor. Ms. Coy, in your review of Mr. Coleman's file, would you agree that during the time that he was at TJJD when he was away from family and during the time when he was on parole, he typically does well when he is not, I guess, living with or staying with or in the custody of his mother, but he keeps going back to her and that's when he has problems again?
I can't say that one way or another. I can tell you that he did not have a lot of incidents while he was in our facility. But I mean, his behavior is ultimately his behavior.
And I don't disagree with you. I'm just, trying to connect the dots, right? Now when he was when his parole was revoked and he was ordered back to TJJD, his minimum length of stay you said was 3 months. Is it true that that was ordered in May of 2024, meaning his minimum length of stay would have expired in August of 2024?
Yes.
I'll pass witness.
So Ms. Herrick actually had a good question that made me think. So when he was he paroled to his mother's home?
I believe he was.
Ms. Coy, I'm going to ask you to stop for a second. This is one of the frustrations with Zoom. Mrs. Simpson, you are in court right now. Please don't lay on the couch. If you want to participate, I'm happy that you're here, but your face needs to be on camera. This is still court. You still need to show respect for the court. Okay? Thank you. All right, Ms. Coy, you were saying.
Was checking. I believe he was released to his mother.
All right, thank you. All right, Mr. Sorrells?
Nothing further, Judge.
Okay, Ms. Herrick, any last questions?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
No, Your Honor.
Oh, okay. All right, thank you. Mr. Sorrells, your next witness.
At this time, Judge, the state rests.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Herrick, your first witness?
Yes, Your Honor. I'll call Pia Letterman.
All right. Ms. Letterman? Good morning still. If you could raise your right hand, please. Do you solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give this cause currently trial, you will tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
All right, thank you. Ms. Herrick, please proceed.
Yes, Ms. Letterman, did you represent Mr. Coleman for the federal charges that he had?
I did. I was appointed to represent him. I can tell you the exact date. April 19th.
Of 2024?
I'm sorry, 2024.
Okay. You represented him consistently since then, correct?
That is correct. Okay. In federal court, he still is my client till one of us says otherwise.
Is it true that he pled true to the federal court charges?
So we didn't plead true, but we did accept responsibility and not go to trial on the federal charges.
Thank you for correcting my language. And so he accepted responsibility and then was set for sentencing hearing, correct?
That is correct.
And Did you represent him at that sentencing hearing?
I did.
And do you have that case number for the record?
I do. His federal court case number is 4:CR-CR-00149-P-1.
Do you have some documents here with you that pertain to his federal sentencing?
I do. I have I created defense exhibit number 1, which is his entire docket, the judgment and sentence of the court, as well as the I could not include for you the statement of reasons, but I did include the judgment and sentence, as well as his terms of supervised release.
And I can't remember who just said this, but it also includes all the docket entries, correct?
Correct.
Okay. That's been marked as defendant's exhibit number 1 and provided to the state, and also a copy has been provided to the court. We move to admit that exhibit at this time.
Charles, any objections?
No objection, Judge.
All right, the document titled Defendants 1 is admitted.
Thank you, Judge. Before the sentencing hearing, were any documents or was anything prepared?
Yes, in federal court, before a sentencing, there is what's called it's called a sentencing report, a PSR, a pre-sentence report. So we have to sit down and we get interviewed with client as well as probation, the federal probation officer, and they prepare a federal pre-sentence investigation report, which is submitted to the court for the court's consideration at sentencing.
There's probably a lot of information that you learned about Mr. Coleman from that process. Would you agree?
There is a lot of information prepared in the pre-sentence report.
Okay. To kind of skip back to a question that we just asked Ms. Coy, is it your understanding through all the history and all the information that you've learned about Mr. Coleman that when he is either, in custody, but also even when he was on parole, but not living with or in the custody of his mother, that he does remarkably well and is able to follow the rules? But on the other hand, when he is in the custody of his mother, he's repeatedly had trouble.
That is correct. And I spoke to Mr. Coleman multiple times. I reviewed his entire juvenile file. I think we received almost 3,000 pages between juvenile and the TJJD files and the pre-sentence report. There's no offense to mom, but at 11, 12, 13, 14, it's nothing but mom failing to engage in services and Mr. Coleman getting kicked out of juvenile services because mom refuses to show up to detention hearings. Mom won't show up for meetings with probation. Mom won't take him to counseling or therapy or classes. I did notice also in his file, he was sent to placement and he did extremely well in placement. He was released from placement early and we rewarded him by sending him back to mom, which just, once again, mom was reason to believe for neglectful supervision. Mom was reason to believe for abuse and neglect. And we sent him at the age of 13 back to mom. Then we see again in his entire juvenile file, mom not engaging in services and mom not being with him. He went back to juvenile where again, nothing occurred until ultimately he ended up at TJJD. And I believe in the TJJD file, I also saw mom failing to engage in services. And I don't think mom ever visited him or engaged in any therapy or counseling. So when he gets out, he does well for a while. But then again, we're neglected by mom and left to our own devices.
That's certainly, I'm sure, something that was emphasized at his federal sentencing hearing. What did the federal court also take into account Mr. Coleman's juvenile history and everything that he has?
He did. So the federal guidelines have amended and they have a specific section for juvenile offenders. Judge Pittman summarily rejected that and said he did not agree with the sentencing guidelines or with the youthful offender guidelines. Judge Pittman did state on the record that he was taking into consideration Mr. Coleman's entire juvenile history at sentencing and dismissed the sentencing guidelines amendment, which went into effect Monday.
Tell the court what the sentence ended up being on his federal cases.
Sure, and if I can refer the court to the document exhibit number 1, and if you look at line entry, docket entry 61, it's the synopsis of the sentence. Not only did he reject our juvenile and our history, he then sentenced him to 60 months on count 1 and 91 months on count 2, and he ran those concurrent. So Mr. Coleman will have to do 151 months in the Federal Bureau of Prisons.
You said concurrent, but you meant consecutive.
I'm sorry, consecutive.
So his 2 federal sentences are to run consecutive, correct?
That is correct.
Do you know how the Bureau of Prisons will take into account any sentence that Mr. Coleman's given in this case for the TJJD time?
By statute, and I can point you to the statute, I just don't have it with me. Judge Pittman specifically ordered that the sentences would run consecutive to any state or local charges. So because he's in the BOP, well, if he was writted to state court for any time, he would not be getting credit on his federal sentence.
Do you know if this court is bound by a similar rule?
No, like Judge Pittman, this court is not bound by another court's order. This court can do whatever it decides with concurrent or consecutive.
So this court could order any sentence that's imposed today to run concurrent with the federal.
That is correct.
Sentence. Okay. Is Mr. Coleman currently in the custody of the Bureau of Prisons?
He is. He's not on writ.
Why is that relevant?
Again, because he's not on a writ, then he is getting federal credit for this time. However, then it's up to Judge Kim to decide if he would also be getting state credit or just stay on probation.
In the federal sentencing hearing, was the safety of the community taken into consideration by Judge Pittman?
It was. If you look at the judgment and sentence, and I was not able to provide a statement of reasons because that was sealed, but the judgment of Judge Pittman under the federal guidelines 3223A, it does consider safety of the community, safety of the client as well. So those were considered and they are in the statement of reasons.
And those are specifically considered, right? Not just generally, like the judge indicated that he specifically took those things into consideration?
Correct. Under 3223A, like any sentence, it has to be an individual sentence per person.
Does the federal prison have parole as a possibility?
Yeah, federal court does not do parole.
Okay. Does that mean that he will complete the entire 151 months that he was sentenced to?
He may be eligible up to the Bureau of Prisons if he's receiving any good conduct time off of that, but there's no parole.
Did you review Mr. Coleman's United States probation sentencing report?
We did, and I reviewed those with Mr. Coleman as well.
Okay, and did that indicate that the protection of the victims was also taken into consideration by Judge Pittman?
There was, as part of the sentencing, and probation sends out letters, just like juvenile does. We did not, we received one letter that was rejected by the court because it was a vague check marks. We didn't have a name. We don't know who it went to. And they just said, you know, my retirement has been affected, but they didn't really give us, we didn't even have a name or anything. So we all pretty much ignored it. We received no other documents from any alleged victim. We received nothing.
So in addition to the federal charges that we're discussing, there also was the state charges that he had here in Tarrant County that were pending, correct?
That is correct.
He was arrested for a couple of misdemeanors, assault on a family member, violation of a protective order, and interference with emergency call. Is that your understanding?
That is correct.
And then he was also arrested for an unlawful use of a motor vehicle. Is that your understanding?
That is correct.
Is it your understanding that the unlawful use of a motor vehicle was dismissed?
That is correct.
And so he only had or has misdemeanor state charges pending?
That is correct. And I actually spoke to girlfriend about the car and about the violation of the protective order. And so like most of our cases, they were back together, not realizing the protective order was still in place. And I did speak to Mr. Coleman at length about it as well.
And so is it your understanding that the alleged victim of the assault on a family member is still Mr. Coleman's girlfriend? They're still together?
Correct. And she did appear at sentencing as well.
Okay. She is pregnant now, or maybe just recently had her baby. Is that true?
That is my understanding, yes.
Is it your understanding that she was or was not pregnant at the time of the alleged assault on a family member?
I'm not good at math, and I promise this court not to lie, so I don't know.
Okay. Fair enough. Did the federal court take into account these pending state charges as well?
They did. Judge Pittman specifically referenced them again in line 61 of the docketing sentence. He ordered that they all run consecutive to his federal case. They are also mentioned in the pre-sentence investigation report, which was prepared by probation, and they were taken into consideration in the sentencing guidelines.
How do the guidelines work?
So in federal court, you have a guideline where you get credit for your criminal history as well as your criminal offense. And because of those federal charges, Mr. Coleman did get points on his criminal history, which is what led to the higher offense, because we got criminal history points. They were just mentioned, and then we also got status points for them. So all of his juvenile history, most of his juvenile history, and then his adult history got him criminal history points.
So you're saying
What are status points?
So, excuse me, Judge, sorry. So under the federal guidelines, which again, I'm so sorry, Judge, I did not bring my guidelines book. Actually, it's in my briefcase. If you would go grab my briefcase. So you get points for your criminal history. Sometimes they're 3 points, sometimes they're 2 points, sometimes they're 1 point. And that is your criminal history points. So it's a graph. So the x-axis is your criminal history points. He did get points for the term that he was on TJJD for. That was a 3 point on his criminal history. We got 1 point each for the misdemeanors. He had 5 points. And now in federal court, if you have more than 7 criminal history points, it's better for clients now. You get another point just for being that high on your criminal history. But he did not get the last point because I believe our criminal history, he did get the criminal history points, and we ended up with 5 criminal history points. 2 for the juvenile, 1 for the assault, and then 1 for the violation of protective order. So with 4 points, he ended up a level 3. And so what that means is on any offense level, we automatically go out 3 columns on our for punishment.
So it's just a matrix type of situation.
Right. And so his matrix so the highest is a level 6. Because of those 2 other cases, those pending charges, he became a criminal history category 3 with 4 points. So it really affected the guidelines quite a bit.
So are you saying, I'm sorry.
It's clear as mud. I mean, I can, if you want to admit things of it. It's a tricky matrix, yes. So you go criminal history points this way, and then offense up and down this way. And then where the 2 meet is where your guidelines are. The table, yes.
Ms. Herrick, please continue.
Thank you, Judge. So long story short, are you saying that Mr. Coleman's federal sentence was already made higher because of his juvenile and state criminal history?
Quite a bit higher, yes.
Okay. Now we just heard Ms. Coy testify, and I am probably going to get this number wrong, but is it your recollection that she just testified that Mr. Coleman has around 45 months of credit at TJJD?
That is correct.
Okay, which would mean that he would have 75 months left. Is that right? Math?
If my math is correct, yes, 75 months.
Is that less than the 151 months that he was ordered to do in the federal prison?
Quite a bit less, yes.
Okay. Does Mr. Coleman have services that he will be required to complete once he's released from federal prison?
Yes, as part of the sentencing paperwork we submitted, the last page talks about supervised release, and he has 4 pages of supervised release conditions.
What are some of those conditions?
He's got to report no new offenses.
Slow down, please.
I'm sorry. He has to report within 72 hours, work full-time. He has to not commit any new offenses. He cannot consume any illegal narcotics. He cannot consume alcohol. And with some of the requests that we asked for, or that he be provided treatment for mental health treatment, as well as drug and alcohol, and just in case he needs those. And we did ask that he go to a licensed therapist, and that's just some of his conditions.
And so that sounds a lot like what we know parole to be like. What is supervised release?
Again, in federal court, we don't do parole, but we do quote unquote supervised release, which looks a lot like parole. If you violate, you end up back in the Bureau of Prisons, much like parole revocation. And the same, if you don't complete the conditions, you go back to the Bureau of Prisons for violating your supervised release.
If he were to violate the conditions of his supervised release, how long could he have to go back to the federal prison?
I haven't calculated his supervised release, but it could be anywhere for up to 3 years, depending on the violation.
Okay. Now, you have been representing Mr. Coleman, of course, while he was awaiting the federal sentencing, and during that time, was he held at the Johnson County Jail?
He was.
Okay. Did Mr. Coleman take advantage of some opportunities to complete some classes and programs while he's been in the Johnson County Jail?
He did, quite a few.
What classes and programs has he completed?
He did a 1-hour anger management. And again, all these classes are on the computer because they don't actually have services in Johnson County. He did a parenting class. He did anger management. He started his CDL. He started his welding certificate. I want to say there was almost 8 or 9 certificates that are on my phone, but I can't get them to print. But he had done quite a bit.
And he did those of his own accord, is that correct?
That's correct. He and I had not talked about that, and I wasn't even aware that Johnson County had those on their tablet.
What is Mr. Coleman's plan for his life once he is eventually released from custody?
We did that also as part of the sentencing and the presentation we gave to Judge Pittman. We've spent a lot of hours together. He is going to do a lot of therapy, a lot of counseling, even when he's released. He wants to do CDL and always, so he can work for himself. He can be a truck driver. He can get into welding. The Bureau of Prisons has several programs, so that way when he is released, he can have employment, immediate employment, and he won't have to then go to a class or go to counseling. He can be immediately employed as an electrician, a welder with his CDL. Our main goal was not to go back to mom or that neighborhood. He would then be old enough to be out on his own and not rely on mom for services or for anything else.
Is it your opinion that his goals are reasonable and achievable?
Absolutely. With good support, he's always done really well.
I'll pass the witness.
Mr. Sorrells?
Sorry, I have no questions for this witness, Judge.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Ms. Herrick, your next witness?
Your Honor, will rest.
Mr. Sorrells, rebuttal.
Rest and close, Judge.
So closing arguments.
Judge, I would ask that the court follow the recommendation of the Texas Juvenile Justice Department in transferring him to institutional division of the Texas Department of Criminal Justice. I believe Ms. Letterman actually said it quite well when she said that Judge Pittman of the federal court took into account the safety of the community and the protection of the victims when he decided and determined that it would be appropriate for this respondent to have consecutive sentences, and not only consecutive sentences for the 2 counts that he had in the federal system, but Judge Pittman also definitively puts in his order that it would be subject to your sentence also, and the federal sentences would be consecutive to it. I believe he has a lot of the information that this court also has, and he has made that determination. I just ask that this court adopt that same mentality and transfer the respondent to the adult prison system and issue a writ in order for his sentences to be consecutive, as the federal judge has indicated in his order. Although this court is not bound by it, as Ms. Letterman did say, this court does get to make its own determination as to consecutive versus concurrent. I am urging the court that consecutive would be appropriate. Thank you, Judge.
Thank you. Ms. Herrick?
Yes, Your Honor. The recommendation of TJJD that Mr. Coleman be transferred to the institutional division of the Texas Criminal Justice Department was made prior to his federal sentencing, meaning they made that recommendation without knowing that he would be sentenced to 151 months in the federal prison. Judge Pittman did take into account this case as well as any other pending unresolved matters that Mr. Coleman has. It's mandatory that the Bureau of Prisons not run concurrent with state sentences, so that's by law. And this court has the discretion whether to run the sentences consecutive or concurrent. If his sentence here runs concurrent with the federal sentence, he will be at minimum 29 years old when he's released from the Bureau of Prisons. That is certainly old enough for him to be able to live on his own and maintain his independence and stay away from the negative influences of his family. As we noted, he has a reasonable and achievable plan for his future when he's released. He has already taken steps that were required of him by no one to get certified in different vocational skills. He's making steps to obtain his commercial driver's license. He's taken a parenting class knowing he has a baby on the way, taken an anger management class. Again, those were not ordered by anyone. He did those because he wanted to. Mr. Coleman, he accepts responsibility for how he has gotten to where he is now, and he's been sentenced for that accordingly by the federal prison. We ask that this court not transfer him to the institutional division, but if this court is inclined to transfer him to the institutional division, we ask that this court run his sentence there concurrently with his federal sentence. Thank you.
I have a question, and I guess I have a question or math. So he has a 151-month federal sentence. That I calculate that to be about 12 and a half years. He's 19 now. That sentence just started October 30th. So what am I missing?
He has some credit. Oh, just kidding.
He will only get federal
Ms.
credit.
Lederman, I can't let you. Sorry. But you're welcome. You're welcome to advise Ms. Herrick.
So he might be older, 31.
It appears that
My math
the
is wrong.
respondent's counsel is not proficient in math. He'll be about 30 or 31.
So it's about 12.5-year sentence.
Yep.
He has some credit in, but he's probably looking around 31 at this point. Is that correct?
Sorry.
Okay. All right. No, I want to clarify. So I interrupted you. If you want to go back to you were talking about the classes.
No, I finished my argument, Judge.
So this court, having considered all the competent evidence, this court having considered the experiences and character of the person before and after commitment to the Texas Juvenile Justice Department, having considered the nature of the penal offense that the person was found to have committed and the manner in which the offense was committed, having considered the abilities of the person to contribute to society, having considered the protection of the victim of the offense or any member of the victim's family, having considered the recommendations of the Texas Juvenile Justice Department, County Juvenile Board, local juvenile probation department, and prosecuting attorney, having considered the best interests of the person, and finally, having considered any other factor relevant to the issue to be decided, will return the person to the Texas Juvenile Justice Department. Return the person to the custody of the Texas Juvenile Justice Department without approval for release of the person under supervision. Mr. Coleman, I am transferring you to TDC to complete the remainder of your sentence. However, I am going to run this concurrent with your federal sentence. Mr. Coleman, I'm breaking this up into two different categories. I look at the original offense where you at 15 years old, you were inside a gentleman's club and there was a conflict and you fired indiscriminately to the crowd, hitting two people, right? That was the offense that you were originally sent to TJJD for. I also look at you while you're on parole, that now you are convicted for an armed robbery with a firearm or a gunpoint robbery of a postal worker for the master key, right? Now you have that issue with the federal courts, with Judge Pittman. I highly respect Judge Pittman, and I agree with him a remarkable amount of the time. However, in my discretion, I do try and keep juvenile matters separate from adult matters. I do not feel like an extra 3.5 years in the state prison after you finish your federal sentence will do anything to protect our community more. It would simply be punishment. As a society in the state of Texas, we do not punish juveniles for their juvenile behavior. We rehabilitate them. So if I'm taking the punishment equation out, and my concept or my guiding light right now is simply protecting our community, I do believe after you finish your 12-year sentence with the Federal Bureau of Prisons that I hopefully are mature enough at that point to learn from your mistakes and no longer be a threat to our community. So I do believe the 12-year sentence is appropriate to protect our community. All right, so at the end of this, in the conclusion, I do order you remain in the custody of the Federal Bureau of Prisons for you to complete your sentence there. They will be transporting you shortly for wherever they decide to place you. Now, because there was no agreement, you do have a right to appeal. I do have a document here. You will have a yellow copy. Your attorney does have a duty of mailing that to you at your last known address, but that explains that right to you in writing. If you choose to appeal my decision, you may do so by filing a notice of appeal with the Second Court of Appeals located in Fort Worth, Texas. Ms. Herrick, you do have a duty to prosecute that appeal if you so desires. He probably does not want to appeal my decision today. All right. So, but anyways, you do have that right. Anything further for this hearing, Mr. Sorrells?
No, Judge.
Ms. Herrick?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, that shall be the order of the court. Mr. Coleman, I hope you learn from your poor decisions and make better decisions in the future. Okay, I wish you the best of luck. Ms. Coy, thank you for being here. All right. All right, that concludes this hearing. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Judge.
Well, that's it for today. Ladies and gentlemen, please, if you like this content and you're not a subscriber to this channel, please do me a big favor and subscribe to this channel and help this channel grow. I'd rather have the channel grow on my word only and what's going on in the channel. I will not promote my channel on other channels. So that's the reason why I ask that if you like this content and you're not a subscriber to this channel, please do me a favor and subscribe and help this channel grow. Tomorrow is Judge Webster, I believe. Tomorrow is Judge Webster. So yeah, we have Judge Webster tomorrow. Or she don't play. But that's it for today, ladies and gentlemen. I will see you guys tomorrow at 3 o'clock p.m. Central, 4 o'clock Eastern. Ta-ta, ciao, ciao, and have a wonderful evening. I'll catch you on the next one. And thank you for watching. All the new subscribers that are coming to this channel, welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm glad that you're here. I'm glad that you're here to support my channel. So I'm going to go ahead and call this one. You all have a wonderful evening. Ta-ta and ciao, ciao. And like I said, I'll see you on the next one.
Come down to it all with your tools in hand, making magic flow. Every broken part, you help me grow. You fix it all, fix it all. You fix it all. Daniel, you make it right. Daniel, everything's right. When I'm falling apart, you put me back together. You make it better. From the wires tangled up to the broken dreams. You know how to man all my scattered seams. With your steady hands, you refill my heart. Every piece that's lost gets a brand new start. You fix it all, fix it all. You fix it all. Daniel, you make it right. Daniel, everything's bright. When I'm falling apart, you put me back together. Daniel, you make it better. Fix it, Daniel. Fix it, Daniel. Fix it, Daniel. Make it right when the world shuts down, and I can't see clear. You're my solid ground, always drawing near. Never give up on this heart of mine. Put it back together every single time. Fix it all, now I'm standing tall to all you do. From the highest peak, I can see it through. With your care and touch, everything's